whatever you do, stick and move. Stick and move. Don't stand in front of that man. Do not stand in front of my man.
I don't know how much confidence that Jake Paul have in all this, but you know he's gonna be a lot quicker. And if he stay close to Mike,
How about Jake? What do you think of Jake?
Clown.
Would you look at it as a joke if your team was like, yo, we want you to fight Jake Paul? Would you be like, come on, man?
I laugh at him.
Did you ever do a fight like that?
I feel as though in my career I can't do that right now.
Stephen A. Smith delivered a blistering on-air rebuke of Gervonta Tank Davis, slamming his decision to fight YouTuber-turned-boxer Jake Paul and branding the matchup a circus that insults the sport. With his trademark fiery intensity, Smith accused Davis of sacrificing boxing's integrity for hype, insisting the spectacle was more entertainment than competition and declaring the bout something to be condemned, not celebrated.
Stephen, I wanted you to come on the show to tell me that you think I'm a great boxer.
I think you're a damn good boxer with a lot of potential. And I got one problem with you, and I told you this already. You are skilled. You cannot be going in the ring beating up on dudes that you know don't box. You can't have a basketball player, UFC fighters. No, they strike. They don't box. There's a difference. They're not on your level.
As we all know, as a competitive sport boxing fan, this is nonsense. It doesn't make any sense for the sport, for Tank as a world champion fighting Jake Paul, as Jake Paul trying to become a world champion fighting Tank. None of that makes sense. Business-wise, this thing's gonna blow up. So let's see about the business of this thing. Let's see what the narrative is for this fight. Because again, I think Jake's gonna come in there and try to knock Tank Davis out. And if Tank's not taking him seriously, believe it or not, that potentially could happen. And I'll explain why. The breakdown, let's go.
Smith underscored the stark size and pedigree disparity, pointing out that Jake Paul often fights at over 200 pounds while Davis competes at 135. He questioned whether such a spectacle could harm boxing's reputation, warning that high-profile crossover bouts risk reducing the sport to a sideshow. Smith also weighed in after Davis's controversial majority draw with Lamont Roach in March, stressing that Davis's record speaks for itself and rejecting the idea that criticism was justified. Instead, he praised Davis's championship composure, highlighting his immediate acceptance of a rematch as the mark of a fighter confident in his abilities and determined to reaffirm his dominance at the elite level.
I can't buy the hype at this particular moment in time. Now, I'll give Jake Paul credit for this. At least he's in the ring with a boxer. But 57 years old is 57 years old. And 57 years old and formally walking into a UFC fight as an audience member, as a patron with a cane, it's hard to me to believe a year later that you're going to be in any condition to really fight. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. And if you're Jake Paul, here's what I want to say to you. It's Mike Tyson, that's fine. It's a money fight, I get you, and you want to make money. But at some point in time, if you keep telling us that you're taking boxing seriously and you want to be recognized as a big-time boxer / fighter, you're going to have to fight somebody closer to your age, who is a contender at the very least in the sport and who lives with it every single day. Could you please get in the ring with somebody? Pretty please, with sugar on top. I'm interested. Gervonta Davis might be every bit as box office as Maverick himself. As exciting, as electric, because this dude performs every time out, y'all. Wherever Davis goes, wherever he fights, fans justifiably follow. He's that special. And Davis is without a doubt one of the top 5 pound-for-pound fighters in the world right now. Don't you even doubt it.
Smith went as far as to rank Davis among the top 3 fighters in the world, praising his power, skill, and knockout ability. He emphasized that Tank is a proven world champion and elite boxing talent, while Jake Paul remains a YouTuber-turned-novice in the sport. For an established champion to step into the ring with such an inexperienced opponent, Smith argued, risks tarnishing his legacy. In his view, the matchup is far beneath Davis's level, hence his blunt assertion that Tank should be ashamed of it.
The world to recognize this is one of the top 5 fighters on the planet. He might be top 3. Yeah. You can make a legitimate argument for him to be in 3, 1, or whatever. Frank Martin, props to him, came into the fight 18-0, 12 knockouts. Clearly did not have the power to keep Gervonta Davis from stalking him from opening tap. That's what he did. He stalked him and stalked him and stalked him, okay? Frank Martin caught him with some good shots. Gervonta Davis kept coming. So he can punch. He's a knockout artist. He can box. He's not given enough credit for it, okay? He closes. He finishes. Once he smells blood, he's like a shark in blood-infested waters, Molly. He will finish you, okay? And by the way, he is an elite boxer. And so the time has come for this man.
Stephen A. voiced strong disapproval of the growing trend of mismatched exhibition fights, including Jake Paul's scheduled bout with Mike Tyson, bluntly labeling it a disappointment and even disgusting. He stressed that Paul needs to test himself against real, active competition rather than retired athletes or faded stars. While acknowledging Paul's promotional savvy and the buzz he generates for boxing, Stephen A. made it clear that true credibility can only come from stepping in with legitimate, contemporary talent.
Jake Paul is a professional. At some point in time, I don't give a damn if it's a light heavyweight. Better BF, Bivol, a super middleweight, Canelo, Mexican Monster, David Benavidez, somebody that actually has a reputation. The time has come for Jake Paul to step into the ring with a cat who actually boxes for a living and give us that fight. I appreciate the fact of him promoting. I appreciate him having the cachet as a former YouTuber turned boxer. I like Jake Paul. I respect Jake Paul. I'm just saying, because I like him and because I respect him, I want to see him in the ring. And I don't want to hear, I know his numbers are better, but then he's going to say, I don't need Canelo. Canelo needs me. Well, wait a minute. It ain't just about popularity, bruh.
After Davis called him out following the Tyson fight, Jake Paul eased the tension with a witty, self-aware jab. At the post-fight press conference, he expressed openness to facing Davis but playfully poked fun at his height, joking about weight class rules and wondering if there should be similar ones for height. The remark highlighted the clear size disparity while adding a theatrical, light-hearted twist to the exchange, bringing humor to an otherwise heated promotional moment.
Right. Jake Paul responds to Gervonta Tank Davis' call-out and absolutely takes the moment and the opportunity to clown Gervonta Tank Davis's height in the sport of boxing. And he says here, is there a height limit in the sport of boxing? This is where Jake Paul says, and his team, Gervonta Tank Davis needs me. We don't need Gervonta Tank Davis. Let's listen here.
Gervonta Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super, super down. I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
Raleigh Romero views Paul vs. Davis on Netflix as a massive attraction, particularly for younger American audiences. He noted that while Canelo vs. Crawford will strongly resonate with Mexican and Latin American fans, the Paul Davis exhibition is likely to draw a larger stateside crowd, especially among those under 20. In Romero's view, both matchups help expand boxing's overall reach, which benefits the sport. Though he considers Canelo Crawford the superior contest in terms of pure competition, he sees Paul Davis as the bigger event in terms of U.S. popularity.
The best option for him, same way that Stevenson thinks Tank's the best option for him, or like all that stuff, right? At the end of it, bro, we just want to do what's best for ourselves, right?
Facts.
Right or wrong?
Facts.
So just do what's best for you.
All of a sudden, we want to know, who will win in this fight? Jake Paul or Tank Davis? It's a legit question. And I actually want to really hear your thoughts on who do you think is going to win. Because I know what Vegas is saying, but I want to know what you think. You got
Personally, I think Tank too little, bro.
Yo,
I think Tank too little.
I'm so glad you have a brain on your fucking shoulder.
I think Tank too little.
I said, bro.
I think Tank's too little. That's what I'm saying. That weight class is for a reason.
Davis
that weight class is for a reason.
5'5", 135 pounds. Jake Paul is 6 feet, 205 pounds.
That's what I'm saying.
Bro.
He's too
6'1",
little.
205. Everybody's like, yeah, bro, but Tank it only takes one good punch. Yes, it takes one good punch when you're about the same size. There's a 60, 70 pound difference in weight in these people. I don't think nobody puts the physics in mind. Jake Paul gets punched in the face by dudes 200 pounds with all their might on a weekly basis. A 135-pound puncher, bro. If y'all remember the Mayweather versus Conor McGregor fight, Conor walks around like 180 on the regular. He's like 5'9", 180. Mayweather's like 5'7", 145. That 30-pound, 20, 30-pound difference, bro, if you remember that fight, Mayweather was putting mittens on Conor. Guess what happened to Conor? He didn't hit the ground once.
No.
He lasted all 12 rounds getting hit with flurries. I'm talking about Mayweather was having his time. He's being cocky with it, hitting him with all kind of combos. And we're watching the last 3 rounds of that shit like, yo, knock him out. And you know what? He could not knock him out because Conor gets punched by people that are 170, 180 pounds on a regular. And just that 20, 30 pound difference, it was like impossible for him to do anything. And that's exactly what I feel like is going to happen versus Jake and Tank.
WBC lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson issued a stern warning to Davis amid the talk of a potential showdown with Jake Paul. He blasted the idea as disrespectful to boxing, insisting that if Davis is serious about proving his credibility, he should face a true contender like himself. Confident he's the best in the division, Stevenson directly challenged Davis to back up his reputation by fighting him instead.